What's up? What's up? Welcome to Real WW Talk. I am Erin.
I'm Candice.
And I'm Rikki.
And this tells you how in tune we are. If you're on the podcast, I'm sorry you can't see this. You've got to come over to YouTube or the Real WW Talk Facebook group. But all of us ladies showed up color matching tonight in royal blue.
How random.
Totally in sync.
And we were all doing a little dance before we went live. I would just like to say, I'm going to go ahead and put us out there. And I thought our dance moves were in sync.
So awesome. Wonderful. 100%. 100%. I just even love, like, Candice and I are even syncing in the glasses today. Yes. We're dark color glasses here.
Yeah.
Rikki, you gotta get their
glasses, but you know,
I've got some somewhere, but I don't know if they're easily accessible.
Don't leave us hanging.
So tonight, ladies, we've got a busy night. We've got a bunch of things that we want to talk to the Real WW Talk community about. And so I'm just going to give the overview so you know if you're listening, if you are listening, of course you are listening, what to expect. First thing that we're going to talk about is the Real WW Talk Holiday Hustle Step Bet. And then we're going to spend the rest of our time talking about the what new WW plan that is coming out. The one that feels like we just talked about. Oh, we did a year ago. So let's kick things off. Candice, you have been heading up the Real WW Talk Holiday Hustle Step Bet. What are the deets on that?
All right, guys. So the step bet is something that we started last year. Was our inaugural step bet. It runs from November 21st to December 25th. It's a way for us to keep moving through the holidays. So step bet is an app that you can download onto your phone, and it syncs with your activity tracker, whether you have an Apple Watch or Fitbit or whatever. And it gives you a personalized number of steps that you have to hit in a day. You have 4 active days and 4 active days and 2 stretch days, and you get a rest day. And it's just a fun way to move and to get steps and to do it with a community. So right now we have, I think, like 25 people who have already joined, and that's with really us not talking about it a whole lot. Last year, there were hundreds who joined us, and we all were able to kind of stay moving during a time of year where we tend to be sedentary. It's cold outside, it's darker earlier, and you really don't have an incentive to move. So if you want to join us, please download the app and put in the game code REALWW. It will be in the show notes. It's just, again, I'm so excited because everyone who knows me knows that I love walking and I love not losing money, because you put in a $40 bet for our step bet. And if you win, you get not only your bet back, but you split the pot of everyone who lost. And that's the only time that I'm happy that people don't hit their goals, but I'm not, because we're all
rooting for everybody.
The worst case, if everyone hits their goals, you never lose money. You always get your initial bet back.
Right. So. And it does. I mean, we want everybody to, we really do want everybody to make it through, because that for us it's the accountability. It's about knowing that you've challenged yourself to do something. And it's at the holidays, which can be a really hard time for everyone, right? And I know last year, what did I do? I set the goal to maintain, and we did the holiday hustle. And I will tell you, the closer we got to Christmas, it got to be a little bit more of a challenge, but it really came down to me setting priorities, which that translates into discipline and consistency to go along with the rest of the journey, food journey, you name it. So, and
her discipline and consistency was because the joke was that Candice will take your money. So you have to think, if you're not walking, don't give Candice your money, because I do smile. I don't want you to not, but I do smile when I make.
Yeah, it's maniacal, by the way.
It is. And for anyone who's never done a step bet, you're probably like, well, I can't do 10,000 steps a day. It goes based on, if you have some type of activity tracker, it goes based on your baseline and gives you a challenge based on that. So it's not like it just says, hey, you need 10,000 steps a day because that's recommended. If you are only doing 4,000 steps a day, it'll probably say, hey, your stretch day is 6,000, and then your active day is 5,000. So see what it gives you. It'll give you a projection of what your anticipated goal will be. So you know that it's not it's specific for you.
And the last thing I'll say is that if you do not want to do the step bet, but you do want to move, we have plenty of members who have said to us that they just want to kind of increase their activity alongside us. So even if you choose not to join, it's just a great time of year to focus, and a great 5 weeks to make movement something that is a priority for you.
So I'll be one of the people doing that because of
Mhm.
my plantar fasciitis. I can't commit to doing that just for the, I'm in rebuilding with my foot and whatnot.
Mhm.
And also I lost my Fitbit. It's gone. It fell out someplace, I don't know, probably
Wow.
6 months ago. And so I will be then focusing for those 5 months on doing more weight training exercises and some yoga. But for me, it's what am I going to do in those 5 weeks that's for my health? Because Christmas isn't a time to pile food in,
I'm
right?
glad that you changed. I'm glad you updated, because you said 5 months initially. So I was like, I hope the step bet is not 5 months, because I will
No,
also not be doing it.
no, I lost my Fitbit 5 months ago. I lost it 5 months ago.
Okay.
So bottom line, we would love to join you again. So if you have the Step Bet app, first thing you need to do is get the Step Bet app. And you can find that in, whatever your phone app store is. When you download the Step Bet app, you're going to search for Real WW in the space where it says enter game code. And then that will pull up the Real WW Talk Holiday Hustle. It's the $40 bet. Like Rikki was saying, you can actually sync your steps first to see what your step amount is. And then you can make your decision based on that, if that's something you can commit to through December. If you can, awesome, join us. It's a really great community because then you can actually have conversations within the step bet. Or if you're going to be somebody like me and you're like, hey, I can't commit. We have already seen somebody who's like, oh man, I've really been working hard to up my steps little by little. And I think that's too big of an increase. Well, I think then for us, maybe we'll do some check-ins throughout those 5 weeks, and just to kind of build some different community and push us forward those weeks. So join up. Let's do it one way or the other. Let's make a commitment on it.
Yay.
All right. Now okay, wait a minute. Let's switch gears real quick. Let's do just a quick update on everybody's week. And then let's start talking about the new plan. Who
You're
wants to
first,
go?
Erin.
I'm first. It was a good week. I will tell you that it is amazing the difference of having some of the right nutrition things and knowing that I was anemic, knowing that I was deficient in vitamin D and deficient in vitamin B, and being able to work on that, how that has changed my mental state completely. I am much more hopeful, much more forward thinking. The fog is gone from my brain. I made, by the way, I'm going to go post this in the Real WW Talk Facebook group, which you can find. It's just search for Real WW Talk. Surprise, surprise. So yesterday at church, we had they call it family feast. And so basically it's a new name, i.e. potluck. And so I made, guys, I don't know why I've never done this before. I took a big old foil pan and I dumped 2 bags of salad mix in the pan. I took some grape tomatoes, chopped them up, some scallions or green onions, sliced them up and put them over top. I fried bacon, crumbled that on top. And then I made a dairy-free barbecue ranch dressing. And I marinated 4 pounds of chicken breasts in my own. Guys, I can't even give you the seasoning because I don't even know. I just put stuff in a bag, and I'm going to go try and repeat it because I loved what I did. Like a barbecue seasoning that was some chili powder and some smoked paprika and some garlic powder and onion powder and salt and pepper. I cut those up. I baked them and then cut them up. And so I basically took like a barbecue chicken salad, but there were some leftovers. Those people actually ate it. You'd think if you show up to a potluck with a salad, they're going to kick you out.
Yeah.
But these people ate it. They loved it, but there was still some left. And I had the rest of it for lunch today. I want to eat it again tomorrow. And I'm so sad that it's all gone. But I sat here and I looked at this tray and I'm like, this is legitimately meal prep. All I have to do now is just go grab a hunk and portion it out in a container. Why don't I do this? Why don't I do this? And so I shamed myself in a good way into going and do this. So when we get done tonight, I'm going to go back and rebuild the salad and I'm going to go bake chicken again. So
well, what I love
amazing.
about that is, it's something that you were excited about and that you actually liked and you're looking forward to eating, because sometimes you can make something and you're like, do I have to eat all of this? And that's the key, finding something that makes the plan exciting and makes you feel good to eat it. It's wonderful.
Oh my
And
gosh.
not being pressured by, like, knowing that you're serving other people and saying, "Oh, well, they might want more carbs," or they might want something other than a salad, but saying, "Nope, they're gonna eat what I bring."
Yeah. Listen, it's a potluck. We all know it's covered with macaroni salad, potato salad, and for sure they got the crock pots out with, meatballs and all that jazz. And they did. They did. So I was one of the only fresh things up on that table.
Wow.
So,
So I think that's awesome. And I would have, I was waiting to see what it was to see when I could request a portion to be
Mhm.
dropped
oh,
off at the door.
y'all, let me tell you something. You're gonna want some of this. It's so good. It's
Sounds
so
like we
good.
need to have
Oh.
another get together in person.
Right.
Mhm.
My barbecue ranch salad. I will try and figure out. I'll write everything down the next time I do it so I can
Mhm.
be able to pass the recipe on because this stuff was good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next?
Rikki.
'Cause it's me. I had a good week as well. I felt like I got out and did a little bit more movement wise, got back on the bike, went for a walk during after work, and found some balance with, what I was bringing to work for lunch. I found a bulgur dish.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
Bulgur.
frozen at Trader Joe's with butternut squash in it and some feta. And I was able to take that to work. It's frozen, but you can microwave it in different, servings. So it was my weekends have been busy. So finding something that I could just take to work and heat up and go was really important. So I was glad I found that and could portion it out at work. And I'm doing that again this week. So it was good.
Nice.
Please
You know what I
win.
love too is you found meal prep that was already done for you.
Hmm.
And it seems to be like just kind of the state that you're in right now. And that sounds negative to say the state that you're in. But I mean that in a positive way. Like,
Yeah.
when you're in a thing like, I can't do this, but this is what I can do.
Hmm.
And I know meal prep has always been really important for you in being
Hmm.
successful. And you found meal prep that's for you for right now. And you tried something a little new
I
too.
did. It was good. I was surprised.
All these meal prep trends. I feel like I'm the one who's going to break it because I didn't do any meal prep this week. But
Okay.
uh, mine was more mental healthy. I've been really focused on trying to, I have next steps coming up in my little journey. I'm going to be having surgery on the 16th. And so I was getting some final things together with that. And I was able to share my testimony and my journey with a big crowd of people on Saturday, which was really exciting. But I feel like my update for how my week went was I survived it and I implemented some techniques that really helped me with my mental health. So I've been reading more books that encourage me and talking to my therapist because I don't know if I shared, I think I told you all that I started seeing my therapist
Mhm.
again.
Which I'm so glad because that means we also get free therapy
Oh
as
my God.
well.
Couch lady, she knows. Like I was like, I talk about you on my podcast and everybody wants to know what you have to say. And she was like, there you go again. All this pressure on yourself. No, but it was wonderful to be able, I think, I really say that to encourage anyone who's listening. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Please talk to a therapist if you feel like you need one. It's one of the healthiest things I've done for myself, not just because I'm going through this specific journey. I was talking to my
Mhm.
therapist before the big C word came into my life
Mhm.
because I go through periods of time where I can't trust my thoughts. And I feel like my thoughts can lead me down a really negative path. And I need someone to help me kind of say, hold on, let's challenge those things. So we do that a little bit when we talk during this session, but of course I'm greedy. I need more. I need someone focused just on me. So
Well, I love Candice that you are once sharing that you are seeing a therapist. I think
mhm,
that's really important for people to know, and especially because of the journey that you are on right now. Cancer is a really big thing.
mhm.
That is not a small thing, and we always have the tendency to think that we can handle anything that comes our way. And you know what? You probably can, but it's a lot easier to move a couch when you have 2 people or 3 people, right?
Yeah,
You could probably pick one end up and drag it,
yeah,
but that's not the best way to do it.
yeah.
And therapy is that thing that just helps you and gives you a little bit more of an edge to be able to go through something successfully.
Yeah,
And I think that's
you don't get any medals for like toughing out and making it way and surviving through
awesome.
things. Like if you need help and there's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
say so. And there's
Mhm.
resources that are available. And I think that
Mhm.
we need to normalize saying, some of the things that both of you have shared in the past. I'm not okay. This is a hard day. I'm not processing well. I need to talk about this so that I can get myself back to a healthy place mentally, because healthy is not just about the food we eat, the water we drink, us moving our body. It is how we are up here.
Yep, all over. Just I wanted to put this out too, because I just discovered this through my insurance with my employer, is that we get once a year 3, I think it's employee, and Candice, you may have more of an edge on this.
Assistance program like
Yeah, there's an employee assistance program. And so
Mhm.
you get, for us, we get 3 counseling sessions. Your employer never has to know that you reached out about it. And you can use that to jumpstart counseling,
Mhm.
or even if you need maybe some professional leadership training or guidance. If you're like, okay, well, my mental health is good, but maybe over here in a professional capacity, I could use some coaching or something in that sense. You can reach out through that through
Yeah.
your health service.
Yeah,
So
every employer is
That's
different,
great.
but generally they do have EAPs or employee assistance programs. And one of the new exciting things is, I know with one of the major insurers that I have, is that they've reduced the costs of like copays for mental health because it's been such a big issue. So check
Yeah.
with obviously everyone's different no matter where you are, but there is an understanding that mental health needs to be more of a focus, and employers are looking, if they can, to really find ways to make sure that their employees are not just physically healthy, but mentally healthy. And that's wonderful.
yeah,
Great.
super. Okay, here we go. WW is launching a new program coming the middle of November.
What?
Yes.
Surprise.
Yes. It's been a big conversation in the Real WW Talk Facebook group. And so we thought we'd just share the little bit of what we know about it, but we'll tell you that there are some WW folks who are way more in depth on this. So we'll give a shout out to This Holy Mess, to Pound Dropper, and especially to Dish With Dee, who follows Real WW Talk. She's got a couple of very in-depth videos based on that. I know there have been some that have been shared in our Facebook group as well. So we've done a little bit of the research on us, and so we'll give you like really just the highlight and the bullet point in 30 seconds, because we know you don't want to listen for an hour just to get a short amount of details. From what we understand, it sounds like the new program that's going to be dropping in the middle of November is going to be going back, if you will, depending on how long you've been on the WW plan, back to freestyle or the WW Blue plan. And so we will still have a lot of 0-point fruits and vegetables, non-starchy fruits and vegetables. So that means if you've become accustomed to potatoes on the plan being 0, they will not be 0 underneath of this new plan, from what it sounds like. If you have become accustomed to having brown rice and oatmeal as 0s, they will not be 0s underneath of the new plan. I'm a person who does avocado, and avocado is free for me. It will not be free under the new plan. Oh my gosh. But that will not change me from eating avocado. So we'll talk more about that later to come. Fruits will still be 0. Eggs, it sounds like, will still be 0. And it also sounds like lentils and beans will be 0. Fat-free yogurts, like the Greek yogurt, the cottage cheese, that will be free. And it also sounds like fat-free milk will also be 0 as well. So that's kind of unless I'm missing it. Oh, you will not be earning points eating vegetables anymore. You will not earn points drinking water anymore. You will still earn fit points because activity will still be important. So that's the overarching thought. How do you guys feel when you hear this? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think there's definitely an initial surprise because it's only been a year, and being a serial Weight Watcher, we know that there's always going to be a change, but it's usually 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and then it changes. So it really shows that something is not working. from them. And we kind of got the clue when Wellness Wins ended. Like, that was a little bit of a shock, and that ended, and it was kind of abrupt and seemed out of nowhere to us. But, I am reminded that despite the fact that things won't be free that we got accustomed to, like brown rice, knowing that's free, I've always had brown rice in my fridge as a backup. But just thinking about it logistically, with us having our individual points right now, it's not that it's really free. It's just I have fewer points than some, or I guess, yeah, fewer points than someone who doesn't have rice for free, and they have an extra 6 points to spend on that. But that's if that's something they said in their quiz was not something they had frequently. So I just want to remind anyone who's freaking out that the points kind of had that leeway for people who said, oh, I eat brown rice more, and said, okay, we're going to not give you this extra 6 points, but it's free. So it never was free, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. They just mathed it. They just mathed it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, part of me, like you said, I was kind of surprised because it was such a major rollout for this new kind of iteration of WW, where it's like, oh, you get your personal points engine and your points are going to be different from somebody else's. And it's not the structured three
completely customized and unique,
completely
customized just for
customized,
you.
Which to me was just, we're going to make sure that you can't copy this. And, I was thinking more of like the business kind of aspect of why they might have made the change. But from what you described and what I'm hearing, it's still, in a way, still the same thing. Like, I mean, it's no matter how they try to spin it, there's some variation of, we're trying to encourage you, like you said, to eat your fruits and vegetables, to drink water, to eat less sugar, and to eat more like nutrient dense foods. And we're going to do that. All we're going to do is change how we do it. So when I think about people being afraid or upset about how things are changing, that being the core belief or the core understanding gives me some comfort. It's not like I don't feel like they're going to suddenly say, you can now eat cheesecake and lose weight too. Like you can eat 5 pieces of cheesecake. We found out this new way to do it. It's still at the core of it, just good health principles that we all know. Does that make sense? Like that's what always gives me comfort when we start to freak out about how WW is changing the program.
Yeah. What's funny is in each of the iterations, it feels like Freestyle was a pretty drastic change, and the Blue Plan felt like a pretty drastic change because suddenly things were zero, or quote unquote, they were free, and people were very upset or very worried that they would do those free things in excess, right? Which is kind of interesting to me that would be such a genuine concern. I think the concern, actually won't be a concern in this one, but it will be a frustration, and it's that it was free all this time, and now you're charging me points for, i.e., like my avocado. Like, well, that's okay. I remember the days when avocados cost points. So there we go. And here's the thing. I'm still eating avocado the same way that I ate it before when it cost points. And I still lost weight on both ways. So I think for me, like going into the next one, and I think all of us would probably agree on this, is that the plan works, right? And the work that you're doing right now, the foods that you're eating right now, the way that you're eating right now, I would write down make sure you're tracking, and maybe even paper track like a sample day or two. And just remember that the only thing that's changing is just the point value that they're assigning to it. That's really what's changing around it. If it's working for you right now, it will continue to work for you underneath the new plan.
And you know what I found? I don't know. I was listening to people in the meeting room and listening to people on Connect and in our Facebook group. I found there were more people who were playing around with that points engine, trying to figure out how to there was like a freak out, and it's like, I don't want, this to be free. I want everything to have points. Like there were some who were on that, kind of that spectrum of what can I do? I was thinking of Diane in our group who was like, I've figured out how to make sure that things have points because I don't like the fact that there are too many free things. And then there were fewer that I heard who were like, I'm trying to figure out how to get as many 0 points as I can so that I don't have to. So I think that's always been the struggle that WW has had, because even when they've had the 3 plans, it was core. Remember, core had like everything 0 that you could more, and then you had I'm mixed up.
They were simply filling. Do you remember the simply filling? Which is meant that you didn't have to track anything, but as long as you kept to, what was it, brown rice and sweet potato and like other certain things, the only thing that you had to track were non-fruit, non-vegetable items.
So if you were having a turkey burger, you had to track your ketchup or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember when it split into like kind of after that, they made it into the color program. So purple, blue, green. And I feel like that's where people really who have been on WW for a while were trying to, like you were saying, Candice, even manipulate that and to say, oh, I liked blue. How can I change this engine to be blue? Or as other people were saying, how can I change, like use this engine to change it to be purple or green? And that's where you got people who were just manipulating it in a way to be the old plan. And so what worked for them, they wanted to, maintain that success through, similar behaviors.
So I think they probably got enough feedback, because I think there was a question in the points engine, like, why are you taking this quiz today? That was at the beginning. That's a tracking mechanism to be able to say, how many times are people going in after their weigh-ins and changing this? And what's the reason? Is it just, I want to do what my friend's doing? And I think that I would feel that probably the data showed that people just really were not feeling like, I mean, there may be a few, but like overall weren't feeling the individuality maybe of all the different choices and the ways that it could go.
Yeah. Well, and I started feeling, to be honest, restricted by the choices. And so like this time of year, I'll tend to eat oats more often. But if I look at my plan, because the whole thing when you're doing is you're most likely to eat this most days. So 4 days or more. Well, I might eat it 2 or 3 days, but I may not be eating it 4 to 7 days. But if I'm trying to necessarily work some of the other things in and around, well, I'm spending extra points, if you will, on something that I'm not doing most days, but I'm doing like a mid-range. And I'm finding myself really low on points and feeling kind of restricted. And so now I'm changing the way that I would eat normally to accommodate. And I'm like, this just isn't work for me. It's just like, it wasn't working. It wasn't working well.
Sounds like a math equation, even when you were saying that. 4, is it like 4 or 3? And then maybe what is most like 5? Or is it 1 on this day and next week I eat most? Because some days, like you said, some weeks you eat potatoes, some weeks you don't. So do I eat potatoes a lot? I don't know. Like,
yeah. Like so I really I like having more flexibility in my plan that gives me the points to account for, hey, this week I might just be on an oatmeal kick. Next week I'm going to be on a sweet potato kick. And the week after that, I'm going to be on a salmon kick. Right? Like it's just not all going to like jive together at the same time. It's not enough for me to build a consistent platform around, if you will.
So that's what's exciting. Again, I just want to reiterate, I choose glass half full with this, that someone very smart at WW has taken the feedback and said, you know what, we're going to figure out how to learn from our mistakes or from what we tried. It didn't work or it worked this way. And now we're going to build on that. So I'm interested to see what it looks like in actual like implementation form, because blue worked really well for me. If it's like blue, I'm pleased, because that was
I lost most of my weight on freestyle and blue.
Yeah.
That's when I've ever been most successful. So yeah, I'm intrigued too, because it sounds like they're also getting rid of, you're going to earn points for drinking water, and you'll earn, right. And then of course the earning points for vegetables, that's going away. We know how important drinking water is. So I think it's interesting that they're not going to give points for that. So I'd love to know where that hydration fits in on the new plan, or if there's some kind of reward, or did they take it away because people were trying to get, I mean, you can only get 1 point for drinking.
Can we just
water,
stop?
Right.
Say that you can only get 1 point. And I would just rather, if I could have a vote, if they would give me back my smiley face, and when I hit all of my water things. I'd like that better than the 1 point because I mean, okay, I can figure out how to like put a point somewhere. Give me my smiley face. I need positive reinforcement. And they took that away and have never talked about bringing that back. So maybe that's
never know.
We know that they're going to bring back a rewards program of some kind.
Smiley faces.
I hope so.
Some vegetables, and when you drink your water, give me a smiley face, and I will continue paying you 30 or 40, whatever the amount is. Thank you.
I don't think they can go from Rent the Runway to smiley faces. Like the bar was up here, so
I'm not saying oldly, but at least give me that and Bravo stickers. So.
I would love to see WW have like a water tracker in the app, like a plant nanny kind of a thing, or like the water llama. I think that would be kind of cool.
Why did they not come on here and ask us for ideas? Because I feel like we have a pulse. We've been on the plan for a bajillion years. We can tell you what needs to be there.
Or like, could you build your own personal avatar inside there? And as you drink the water, it fills up your avatar, and like suddenly you start to kind of glow and your skin gets really smooth. Like maybe you start out as like a Halloween shriveled up person, and then as you drink water every day, you become you. I don't know.
I had a horrible thought if you had an avatar of like if you gained weight, it got fatter, and then if you like lost weight, it got, like that's what I thought you were. I thought you were gonna. If you step on the scale and you gain 2 pounds, and like it expands. And then,
it sounds like we're going away from positive mental health.
Right. Miss, I like to be glass half full. And
I just thought that's where you were going when you said avatar. And immediately, you were talking about water, and I was like, she's gonna say that she wants the thing to get plumper if it goes to gain weight. Like it'll be like this week you gained 2 pounds. The face like it's
2 pounds, and it's one of those things like like the fat example thing that they have in the things like this is what you gain.
I think the therapists would love it because they would definitely have more people in their chairs if WWE did that.
Talk about the worst shaming in the world.
They're like, no, you wanted an avatar. It has to look like you. Okay, so.
Oh my word.
I digress. I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. You wanted the avatar to look more hydrated.
I want you to look hydrated and like feel the best version. I was going for water, not weight.
Disregard WW. I misunderstood.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, that's all that we really have on that at the moment. I don't know. I don't know why this doesn't feel like that big of a deal to me. Am I missing something, do you think? Or do you think we've been doing this so long? I'm like, okay, whatever.
I just think that weren't very fully vested in the new change. Like I think that we were excited for like 2 weeks, and then it was like, okay, wait, let me figure out. For me, it was always let me figure out how to get more points back into my thing. Because what question did I not answer right that took away my points?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've actually found myself feeling a little bit more deprived on this plan. And at some point I just kind of went, you know what? I'm going to eat what I know makes me feel full and I know stays within good health guidelines. And some days it aligned with the app and some days it didn't. But I will say that I think I lost something like 20 pounds this year. Right. So it's obviously worked and made me more cognizant. So
that's why I feel like it's nonsensical if we know for a fact that it was something that we weren't like fully vested in, that if they change it to be like, what? Why did you do that? What are you doing? Right. If anything, you should be like, you smart cookies, you all figured out that we're just gaming the system. But we figured out how to make it work for us.
Yeah. It's really interesting what you guys are saying too about looking at how many times and wondering if they took that data of how many times people went in and retook the quiz to figure things out, if that played into it. Because we know every time they do a new program, they're already testing the program out on people. And by the way, have you seen Oprah lately?
I've seen she's doing something with like a hair chronicle, but I haven't like fully embraced why you're excited. Did she lose
weight? No, she looks incredible.
Oh, good.
Like she looks healthy, and you can tell that she has been working the plan. I saw she was wearing a jumpsuit the other day, and I was like, Oprah
You know,
is
the problem
looking
is,
good.
why am I so pessimistic? Because I'm like, of course she does, because they're getting ready to roll out the new plan, and so she has to show that it's work. That's horrible. I am sure that it's just that she's working it, and not because they're about to roll out the new plan.
Listen, but she could be, and what a great example of the new
Yeah.
plan, though, to
Mhm.
show that it's working. Because
Yeah.
you know she owns like the full stake in it, so
Mhm. Yeah.
That would
shows
be me as a CEO, though. Oh, we're about to roll out a new plan. Let me go ahead and do it so that I can look.
That's right.
I guess I need to show that it works since I'm the CEO.
Listen,
But
all I'm saying, just go Google a thing. Go to her Instagram right now.
yeah.
I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, get out, Oprah!" And her hair always looks amazing, but like the whole thing, and
Mhm.
Oprah has the best glasses. If she
She
doesn't have
does.
her own line of glasses sometime soon,
Mhm.
Yeah.
incredible, incredible. But all right, so the program comes out mid-November. We'll see what happens, but
We'll
don't
be
stress out
okay.
about it. It's all going to be good. If what's working for you right now is working for you, it will work for you under the new plan. And bottom line, it just comes down to what we've all been talking about, and we know it's discipline and consistency. And none of us got to where we are by eating too many fruits and vegetables.
Eat
Mhm.
food, not too much, mostly plants.
There you go.
Right. Perfect.
And if hunger isn't the problem, food
Food is
isn't the
not the
solution.
answer.
Mhm.
Fall off the wagon, get back on. Fall down 7 times, get up
Get
8.
back up 8.
You gotta keep swimming.
We could say all the things. All right. Well, we love you. We hope you have a great week on plan. Do not throw in the towel, by the way, because I hear a lot of people who do this. They decide, well, I'll just now wait until the new plan comes before I start to do anything. Don't wait for the new plan. Just start doing one more good thing for
Mhm.
yourself, because you are worth it, and you shouldn't need things outside of you to motivate you to do good things. You are worth motivating yourself for, because you're worth it. Don't talk yourself out of that. Okay. Don't talk you out of that. Join the Real WW Talk Holiday Hustle. We'll post all the information for that in the notes. We'll post it in the Real WW Talk Facebook group. We'll have information on Instagram, right, Rikki?
Yeah.
And YouTube and the podcast everywhere. We'd love to see you on all of those things. And just search Real WW Talk. That's it.
That's it.
Peace out.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Bye.